Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy 2019. Happy January. Welcome to my channel. My name is Joanna the Medium. Thank you so much for coming back. For those of you who are new, thank you so much. I hope you stay. I hope you like what you hear. A lot of exciting energy this month. I seem to be getting information that goes a little bit further. So I often talk about February and March. So do listen to these, come back to these when you can. As always, my intention is to give you information that will ultimately help you evolve and grow, that will help you feel empowered, that will help you feel love towards yourself, that will help you feel appreciation for who you are, which is an amazing, amazing divine being. Whatever you take out of this, please always know that it may not make sense to you right away. It makes sense to you later. Some things may hit you right away. Some things may not hit you until 2 weeks from now or a month from now. So do listen to this with an open heart and an open mind. Also, for any private sessions, of course, which I always love to do, that information is down below. Also, the 2019 6-month messages are up and running. I have also included that information for you down below, so make sure you go ahead and check it. And above all, I want to thank you again for coming back. I feel this is an exciting year for all of us. So stay tuned. I hope you like these. Of course, please comment. I always love reading your comments. Thank you again so much for sharing, subscribing, liking. I love each and every one of your energy. You contribute to what I do. So without further ado, Happy New Year once again. Let's start with your messages. Hello, beautiful Aquarians. These are going to be your messages for the month of January 2019. I am tripping over my words because I am thoroughly excited about the energy that I feel for you right now, and I feel like I'm about to jump out of my skin. When I was shuffling the cards and I was closing my eyes and meditating on what Spirit wants to give to you, show to you, or share with you this month, I saw an individual who was hydrating him or herself, but it was very evident that this person was getting ready for something. This person was getting ready, he or she was being conditioned, or certain conditions are being met in order for the person to start something, approach something with a new awareness. There's a feeling of having been preparing or in a preparation state for quite some time. And the preparation, so to speak, is over now, and it's time for action. So this told me that many of you are starting something new. There is something new that is about to be in your life. Perhaps some of you, it is, you have transitioned. I'm going to leave that word to be deciphered by you, whatever that means to you. Some of you, this may mean birth for some of you. For some of you, it's just simply starting something new. And it could be literally anything from a nutrition program, diet, which we are in January, makes sense, to something much more substantial than that, and that is to put yourself through certain conditions to prove to yourself that you can. So there's a lot of feeling here of, I want to say the word trepidation, but excitement at the same time. As I was shuffling the cards, one card popped out or fell out, and it was to let me know what this is about, and it was brilliant. I rarely get this card. It is Tree of Life. To me, it always symbolizes major breakthrough, cutting cords, completing a karmic lesson, breaking old cycles. It is a space of ending and new beginning. Hence why the number 1 to me came out. It was literally glaring at me. So many of you are absolutely in a position to have a brand new beginning very shortly. However, it doesn't come without its price, or it hasn't come without its price. In other words, you had to work hard on yourself, and you still continue to do so. You have to, in order for you to come to this point. For those of you who are in transition and you are resisting something that is choosing to be no longer part of your life, it is really important to decide to be okay with letting that go. And this could mean, well, anything. Let's say a job is being eliminated and you are going to transition into something different or something new or a different department, but you are constantly complaining and being stuck on, why is this happening? Why is this happening? Why is this happening? Chances are, if you continue to do that, you're going to kind of get stuck in that frame of mind, and you will not be open to new opportunities that are seemingly awaiting you in the very near future. And there's an exciting part coming up. So just make sure that whatever it is that you might be resisting in the month of January, or over the next 2-3 months, some sort of a challenge that is you are dealing with and that's in front of you. Notice, and it's shown to me, the challenge is shown to me as a wall, and you're pushing against this wall. I'm going, there's no way you're going to push this wall. The wall ain't going to give out. You're going to give out first. So this is symbolic to me that some of you are trying to make something work when it clearly has, well, outlived its purpose in your life. If that's the case, and you will know this, each one of you who deals with this, you'll know the message here: let it go, so the universe can give you often, much more often than not, something better. Except, because you can't see it, it makes you nervous. So ending karmic cycles is the theme here, which is now explaining to me, I feel this burst of energy wanting to come out of me, because the moment we complete a cycle, the moment we close a door on a certain lesson, which is a level of understanding about ourselves we haven't had, the moment we become conscious of our patterns, and we start to pay attention, and when we start to eliminate the old patterns, is when literally the universe says, okay, we're done, let's go move on to something new. However, like with anything else, certain things to us symbolize structure, safety, security, familiarity, sense of belonging, whatever it may be. And we often hang on to these things for dear life because, well, they're familiar. So chances are many of you will be rejoicing at the idea of breaking old patterns. At the same time, be mindful that it does take time. It is a transition because we are inclined to do things in a certain way. We are wired, so to speak. So there will be moments where we will resist. Point is, if you're resisting something that you know in your heart is no longer meant to be in your life, you're wasting your time. And that will mean different things to different people, so I'm going to let that go. But it highlights the importance of the message here and the energies that you are being surrounded by. Now, what is leaving? Or what energy is leaving? Or what are you transitioning from? Two of Cups to me symbolizes a connection. So this does not say that you're leaving a relationship. If it does, it's going to be for very, very few of you. This to me symbolizes having just recently engaged in some sort of relationship. This could be a job. This could be a relationship. This could be anything that you are emotionally connecting yourself with. This can also be an aspect of you that you have decided at some point not long ago you have decided to make yourself be your priority. You have decided to feel important. And as a result of that, things shift and change dramatically. But this is symbolizing, to me, you having done some work in order to create some sort of a relationship, because relationship is made of at least two parts. Even within ourselves, we have aspects of ourselves that we love and then we don't love. So you have a relationship with yourself. And I want to say, for most of you, this will be it's almost like I'm becoming I have a relationship with me, now I'm being you, and I'm deciding that my relationship with me is the most important thing in my life. And I'm deciding that as a result of how I relate to me, how do I care for me? How do I respect me? How do I condition and feed me? Your understanding is that that is what you will get back from the universe as a result. So sounds to me like many of you have decided to make yourself be very important, and congratulations. It's about time. For some of you, it's transitioning into a relationship or from a relationship, though I don't see, and well, you are in a karmic cycle ending, so yes, there could be some endings, but I'm not seeing this as anything like breakups. I'm not getting that. For some of you, it could be, but it's, again, for most of you, there's a brand new connection. You may have met somebody fairly recently, or you may have started a brand new job. That's leaving you, not because it won't be good, won't continue to be good, but because you're moving on to another level of that experience, so to speak, or another level. So what might you be experiencing in, I said February, so this is a January message. It tells me that for some of you, this will make sense only in February. You may not understand this in January. Because the first thing I said was February. But what will you be experiencing? Four of Wands and Death in reverse. So here's how I'm seeing this right away. Many of you, if you haven't already, will overcome some major breakthrough, either in your career or in your love life. That is what I get the most. This could, and probably is, a result of you having decided that you are important and you changing the relationship you have with yourself. When you do that, when you begin to relate to yourself differently, the whole world in front of you shifts as a result. Everything that you connect to will start to shift and change, because vibrationally you're becoming somebody different, or you are somebody different. So if you've made a lot of progress on self-worth work in the last recent while, don't be surprised if there is some dramatic shift and change in your existing relationships, either at work or in your relationships at home. For others of you, this is a brand new stability. Four of Wands to me symbolizes, I believe this card traditionally speaks of marriage, which can be, you may have met somebody recently and somebody's going to propose to you. This is often thought of as a marriage card. But to me, this symbolizes a brand new foundation is being opened to you, a brand new stability, let's put it that way. For some of you, this is a career that is opening up its door to you, or a potential brand new, what's the word I'm looking for? Opportunity. And there's a lot of stability with this. So again, for some of you, it may be in January. For some of you, it's going to make sense in February. Hence, whenever you're listening to this, you might still feel like you're in transitions. We are closing the karmic cycle. The Death in reverse tells me that you have just recently undergone through, perhaps you've lost somebody in the last little while. Not necessarily to death, but to a divorce or parting ways. Let me just see what I feel here. You have overcome something that you were very afraid of. And this is something inside of yourself. I feel as if you said to yourself, okay, even though this is what I feel, I'm going to charge forward. And this can mean you entering a brand new relationship that you thought, I will never be in a relationship ever again, because you don't trust it, but you've done a lot of work on yourself and you begin to trust yourself and you begin to listen to your intuition. And as a result, something shifted. So if you have, for example, had a fear of, if you have had a fear that all relationships suck, and you were married to that idea, and you transitioned yourself out of that way of thinking and believing, this to me symbolizes you having undergone a major shift in your life. It also represents you having gone through what I would call an identity crisis. And I'm going to leave that phrase at that. It's going to mean different things to different people, but I also want to say ego death. So you have gone through some transitions where your ego was bruised. In your past, why is it showing up in your current situation? Because as a result of having gone there, of having gone through it, of having gone through understanding what it's about, you open a door to a brand new condition. And it's a condition of stability and a strong foundation. Could be marriage, could be a new job, could be new career, could be anything that makes you feel safe and secure in your environment. Fantastic. So again, remember, some of you January, some of you not till February. Now, where is this leading you? If you thought this was good and it couldn't get better, wrong. Six of Wands is victory. It is success. It is stability. It is feeling, well, victorious. It is feeling accomplished. It is feeling like you've arrived and it's made a difference. Like I said, many of you are literally coming out of your own old shells or selves, and you are becoming somebody different. Not because you need to be somebody different in order to rah, 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 but because you choose to experience something different for yourself as a result of you having a different relationship with you. So if this isn't an indication of where you're going, I don't know what is. You may not feel this in January, but there is a sense of something new approaching, and I feel this energetically. Now, there's almost no possibility for something new not approaching when you are coming out of a cycle or when you're ending a karmic chapter. It is inevitable that something new is about to transpire in your life. And chances are it's very, very exciting, as this message indicates. So what might be hindering you, or what may be some of the things that might be tripping you up? So interesting, because true compassion comes up, and also creative communication. Now, symbolically, when they appeared to me, right away I understood that some of you are very, very hard on yourselves. And you probably have no issue having compassion for yourself, but you might have difficulty or a major challenge when it comes to you and seeing yourself through compassion. I've said this phrase many times before, and I'm going to say it again. When you look at your circumstances and you look at you, particularly the you that you do not like, the you that you resent, the you that you reject, the you that isn't good enough, whatever stories we tell ourselves, if God, whatever God means to you, saw you, and remember, God is perfection. God only creates perfection. And if we are part of God, we are perfection by the virtue of how it goes. So if God, whatever that means to you, universe energy, was to see you, what would he or she see? Chances are quite big that he or she or God, whatever that means to you, would see you as someone who is quite incredible, and someone perhaps who struggles to recognize to recognize themselves as important, someone who chooses to do things out of necessity in order to please others, because that somehow fulfills a certain void. And the reason why this is coming up is because if you do not look at yourself with compassion, you end up, I want to say, digging your own grave, because it's like fighting with yourself. You see this is you, this is a shield, and this is this blob that you're trying to shield yourself from. But here's the thing. This blob that you're trying to shield yourself from is a part of you. Therefore, you can't really protect yourself from it. It's a part of you. You can try to reject it, but good luck with that, because whatever is a part of you can never cease to exist. So symbolically, this is saying, hey, if there is something that's tripping you up in the next couple of months, particularly around relationships or new jobs or new careers or new circumstances. Perhaps you've had tendency in the past to put yourself last, to be very hard on yourself, to depend on others to keep you safe and secure, to make you happy, whatever that is. If you have those tendencies, or if you've had them in the past, perhaps notice the hidden reasons behind all those things. And perhaps notice that there are aspects of you that you are trying to resist or resent or reject. And the only way to truly deal with that is to see it for what it is, as in how it's trying to help you. And most importantly, to accept it as an aspect of you. Because the moment you start fighting the moment you stop fighting with you is the moment your internal peace comes into balance. And the ideal would be to always be somewhere in the center, somewhere in this peace category where things feel wonderful all the time. However, we know that is not how life works, and things will go up and down and all over the place. But as long as we can get back to the balanced state, and that's the norm, then we're doing pretty good. So if there's any tradition in your life, for example, that you need to take care of others over and above yourself first, then you need to understand that the conditions you put yourself into are based on you having that commitment to yourself or against yourself. And if you are entering a brand new commitment, particularly one of great importance, it is important for you to recognize these old patterns so that we don't do them again. And when that happens, we change our conditions. When we become aware of the things that we are trying to fight within ourselves, we find a different way to appease those aspects. Is that the right word? To make peace with it, to accept. That's the word I want to use. What is working for you? Couldn't get any better. Sacred Pool is a message that basically says, when you look at the mirror, do you like what you see? If not, it's time for you to learn how to love self, how to appreciate yourself better. So chances are many of you have already started to appreciate things about yourself much more now than ever before. And chances are that lack of appreciation for you, lack of self-love for you, lack of self-acceptance has created a little bit of turmoil in your life in the past. So what you have going for you is the fact that you are beginning to think of yourself differently. And as a result of that, how you communicate to others, but most importantly, how you communicate to yourself, is also changing. If you are conditioned to be hard on yourself, if you are conditioned to think in terms of lack, in terms of who you are, if you are conditioned to believe you are not enough, then how you show up in the world will be reflected by those conditions. Not only that, it is through those filters that you will see life. In other words, you will have certain expectations of life towards you, and they will too be rooted in lack. So there's a lot of emphasis here on shifting your thought vibration. What does that mean? Shifting your awareness, shifting your consciousness by changing the way you think, which changes the way you feel, which changes your level of your vibration. And you guys already understand what all that means. Cleaning house is another card that's coming up for you. And basically what that means, anything that hinders your positive self-reflection of you, it's time to get it out. Anything that doesn't serve you, anything that doesn't serve you positively in your life, it is time to get rid of it. Now, that does not mean you cannot compromise. It is actually furthest from that. Compromise, of course. But there's always time for compromise. Absolutely. There's time for being kind to another person and putting yourself second. there's absolutely appropriate times for that. However, when it comes to your entire life, if you fall into the pattern of doing that, making others your responsibility first, your first responsibility and not you, that's when you will fall into a trap. And oftentimes it will feel like you're a victim of your circumstances. And the moment you have the belief that you're a victim is the moment that you believe life happens to you and you have no choices and you're stuck. So there's some reference to some old conditioning that some of you need to think about. Again, you're coming to an end of a cycle, a very karmic cycle, something you have been dealing with not only in this lifetime, but in many lifetimes before this one. If you believe in past life, great. If not, doesn't really matter. It is just showing the importance of where you're at, but also the conditions that are surrounding you in terms of creating brand new self, brand new identity. How you think about yourself, how you approach life is based on how you think of yourself. There's an opportunity to create something different. There's an opportunity to create something fresh and something new. Like I said earlier, I believe I said this earlier, it doesn't come without its challenges. Anything that we do that stems out of the norm or pushes us to try something different inevitably is a little bit uncomfortable. Sometimes a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more. However, there are new beginnings for many of you approaching you. Last but not least, the Counsel in reverse is a message that, that came up when I asked for inspiration. And it was kind of interesting for me to see this. Why is this an inspiration in a reverse position? And what I want to say here is that there is always guidance for you and there's always guidance for you, around you, everywhere. The difference is some of us are aware, some of us have no awareness. However, just because you have no awareness of the universe being there to support you does not mean that it's not there. If you believe that there is no one out there who cares for you, then you will live your truth accordingly. If you believe that life happens to you and you have no choices and you are a victim of your circumstances, that is absolutely how you will live your life. It's how you will perceive your life happening to you. Apologies for this, my camera started to go wonky. All right, so just to finish that off, just because you don't believe the universe isn't there to support you doesn't mean that's true. It's just your belief. So the message here is very clear. There is guidance around you. All you have to do is ask for it. But when you ask, be open to how it appears to you. It can appear to you out of the blue. It can appear to you as an example. You see a bus and there's a huge butterfly, which to me may symbolize rebirth or transformation. And you keep seeing butterflies all over the place. And you said, okay, universe, help me. What's going on? And the universe, like, you're going through transformation. You're going through transformation. You're going through transformation. What happens when we go through transformation? Well, it's uncomfortable. So the message may be for you, take time to reflect. You're transforming. And because you're transforming, you might feel confused. You may not know what to do. Let that be okay for now. Everything is fine. Now, some of you may be dealing with circumstances where they're absolutely not fine. They don't feel fine. So just the words I use, they will mean different things to different people, but I think you guys know what I mean. Also, when we are ending a karmic cycle, there seems to be a lot of effort put into giving us guidance in order to help us achieve that task. I'm being shown this right now. I actually didn't know this, but it makes sense. Simply because we have spirit on the other side, whatever you want to call it. We have energies that are helping us. We are not here by ourselves. We have energy who loves us and who cares for us, and who is energy that is invested in our well-being. So when we are approaching an end of a cycle, particularly a karmic one, it seems that there is a lot of effort being put forth in order to help you achieve that goal, because that's part of the reason why you're here. So if you're going through transitions right now, and if you are struggling, know that there is help around you. You have to be open, and that means you need to be still. Sometimes all it means is you need to listen to your intuition, which is your greatest source of guidance, and you needing to learn how to trust that. I always say spirit will talk to you in various ways: symbols, people, songs, books. Well, for those of us who communicate with spirit, voices, thoughts, feelings, whatever it may be. And sometimes it may be just symbolic, you having dreams. Point is, there's always help available to you, and it's important that you recognize it as a fact. So you may not see it yet. However, when you decide that you're going to give it a try, you're going to decide to believe it's true. Let's say you decide for the next month or two, let's say for the next 2 months, you decide, okay, I'm going to believe that spirit is around me and it's true, and I'm just going to focus on it's true. I'm going to prove this to myself, and ask for guidance. And please do not say to spirit, tell me what to do, because it's not going to work that way. Frame it in a different way. Ask in terms of, what can you do to us? What can I do to help me transition from this situation, whatever that is? And then be open to what happens. Let go of that. The universe will always give you signs, and just be open. So when you ask for that and a trusted friend comes to you and says for the nth time, listen, you really should think of leaving that job because it really doesn't serve you. That's the sign. You've asked for it. It came to you in a different way, but it came. And chances are it won't be just this one friend. Chances are there will be many things that will make you hear this message over and over again. So always know there's help available to you. I also hear the bell. It's like, it's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. Many of you, it's time to wake up to your current conditions. It's as if you've been sleeping. It's as if you've been sleepwalking around. For some of you, you are so financially focused that you are literally forgetting what the reason for living is, and that is to be happy. And if this is you, if you are so financially focused, ask yourself, does it make me happy? Well, some of you will say, no, but I have to do it. Well, then shift your frame of mind. Shift how you approach it. I think that's how I want to leave it. The number 9 is coming up. Do you have... you don't have 9. No, definitely not. So number 9 is letting go. When we break patterns, we let go of things. We let go of traditions, old traditions. For some of you, it is... Oh, okay. For some of you, I feel like I need to take a breath. You're very busy. You're conditioned to be busy. Thank you. For those of you who are conditioned to be busy, because this is what you believe makes you valuable, that is not you looking at your... Rather, it is looking at yourself from a point of view of rejection. So notice some of these things about you and see if your old conditioning is... If your parents' conditioning is true for you, notice that. Examine your behaviors. And then if it is, choose accordingly. And with that said, I believe that's how I'm going to leave it. Besides, the camera is starting to go wonky again. It does that once in a while. My apologies for that. All right. So with that said, I hope you enjoy this. This will not make sense to some of you until February, and if that's the case, just listen to it later. Keep an open mind. My aim is always to help you see things differently and to help you pause and go, I never thought about it this way. At the end of the day, everything is happening, and for many of you, it's exciting. I feel brand new. So that's an indication. Again, the Six of Wands couldn't speak of that any better. Of course, for private sessions with me, that information is down below. Thank you so much for everything that you do, for subscribing, for sharing, for liking, for connecting with me, for having sessions with me. Thank you so much. I wish you best of luck. Please take care of yourself. Please make sure you adhere to yourself as someone who's the most important thing in your life, and live life accordingly. And best of luck to you. And I think that's all I have. Thank you so much once again. Take care.